Navigating relationships with borderline personality disorder, or BPD, can feel as though you're sailing through unpredictable seas. Moments of intense joy might be followed by waves of anxiety, fear of abandonment, or overwhelming frustration. Yet with understanding, compassion, and a toolbox full of practical strategies, individuals with BPD and their loved ones can cultivate rewarding, resilient relationships. Relationships shaped by BPD aren't defined solely by challenge. They can also be vibrant, deeply empathetic, and characterized by significant growth. Let's explore how to foster lasting love when BPD is part of the equation, focusing on tangible, actionable tools that support both partners. First, understanding is crucial. BPD is a complex mental health condition marked by intense emotions, sensitivity to potential rejection or abandonment, shifting self-identity, and strong reactions to interpersonal interactions. People with BPD commonly feel emotions more strongly and for longer periods than others, and their relationships can reflect these heightened sensitivities. A loved one might not intend to hurt you or reject you, but small slights can feel magnified, triggering spirals of doubt and anxiety. Recognizing this, both partners should approach one another with empathy, awareness, and patience. Communication stands at the core of any relationship, but with BPD it becomes even more important to keep the lines clear, open, and respectful. Consider using I statements. Express your own feelings and needs without casting blame. Instead of, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when I'm interrupted." I statements help prevent escalation and invite collaboration. Practice active listening. Give your partner your full attention, make eye contact, and reflect back what you heard before sharing your perspective. This builds trust and ensures both people feel valued. Another powerful tool is validation. Validation isn't the same as agreeing or accepting harmful behavior, but it means acknowledging another's feelings as real and important. If your partner is upset, phrases like, "I can see why that would make you sad," or "It must be hard to feel that way," are affirming. Too often, individuals with BPD have been told their emotions were too much or unreasonable. Offering understanding can begin to heal those wounds and set the stage for honesty. Boundaries are essential in all relationships, and for those involving BPD, they become a non-negotiable element. Boundaries aren't rigid rules to fence one another in, but a framework to keep both partners safe and respected. For instance, one partner might need time to cool off during arguments and request a temporary break from the conversation to prevent escalation. Another might clarify which topics or words are off-limits, particularly if they trigger past trauma or distress. Discuss boundaries when calm, not in the heat of the moment. Write them down if necessary, revisit them regularly, and recognize that boundaries protect not just the individual, but the entire relationship. Managing emotional dysregulation is a constant part of loving and living with BPD. Skill building is invaluable. Dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT, has been specifically designed to help individuals with BPD develop tools for emotional regulation, distress tolerance, mindfulness, and interpersonal effectiveness. Partners can support skill building by recognizing achievements and gently encouraging the use of coping skills in tough moments. For example, if the urge to engage in self-sabotaging behaviors arises, pause together and use a mindfulness technique. Focus on the present, notice sensations, and breathe deeply. Make this a shared practice, not an individual burden. Loving someone with BPD often involves repeating cycles: warmth followed by tension or conflict, and then repair. Repairing after conflict is where resilience is built. Avoid rehashing every detail. Instead, focus on reconnection. Physical gestures like a hug, a kind word, or doing an activity together can help remind both partners of their bond. If an argument escalates, agree to a timeout where each person cools off, then schedule a time to revisit the discussion with clearer heads. Trust can be fragile when abandonment fears loom large. Counter this by creating rituals of reassurance. Maybe you check in with each other every morning, share a note of appreciation each week, or simply remind each other of your commitment during vulnerable times. Plan positive moments together, date nights, walks, or shared hobbies that reinforce the goodness in your connection. Routine and predictability are powerful antidotes to chaos. Make a habit of sharing feelings even when things are calm, not just during crises. Regular check-ins, perhaps a weekly conversation dedicated to your relationship, can address brewing concerns before they become conflicts. Couples who proactively maintain emotional hygiene tend to weather storms more effectively. For individuals with BPD, self-awareness grows with practice. Journaling can be transformative. By writing about daily events and the emotions triggered, patterns begin to emerge. Over time, this builds insight. Knowing what situations are particularly triggering, recognizing the earliest signs of distress, and practicing new responses. Share your insights with your partner if you feel safe to do so. Mutual understanding deepens the sense of partnership. Supporting a partner with BE is demanding, and loved ones must care for themselves too. This isn't selfishness, but sustainability. Remember that you are not the therapist. You are a loved one, a partner, a friend. Seek your own outlets, therapy, support groups, hobbies, and friendships. When you're nourished, you're better equipped to support someone else, and emotional balance is more attainable for both. Sometimes, moments of crisis arise. Suicidal thoughts, self-harm, or threats of leaving can come to the surface in times of emotional overwhelm. The key is preparation. Develop a safety plan together, designating steps if a crisis occurs, which loved ones to contact, which calming techniques to use, and when to seek professional help. Don't attempt to fix everything alone. When the situation surpasses your ability to help, reach out to crisis resources, mental health professionals, or emergency services. Relationships ask for both partners to grow. With BPD in the mix, growth takes on a special urgency. Therapy, both individual and together, can open new channels of communication and foster mutual understanding. Couples therapy, especially with a clinician who understands BPD, can help untangle misunderstandings, develop healthy communication skills, and create a shared vision for thriving together. Learning about BPD together can also shift the dynamic from conflict to collaboration. Read books, attend workshops, and discuss what you learn. Misunderstandings about BPD often center on the fear that someone with the diagnosis will inevitably have volatile or damaging relationships. But research and lived experience show this simply isn't true. People with BPD can love deeply, support their partners, and build meaningful lives. The key is awareness and proactive care. Lasting love isn't effortless, with or without BPD, but with the right tools, support, and mindset, it's entirely within reach. One specific tool in the BPD Relationship Toolkit is the use of timeouts. When discussions start to spiral, pause. Both partners can step back, take 20 minutes apart, walk, breathe, listen to music, then return with clearer minds. This prevents the escalation that often leads to regrettable words or actions. Make an agreement about how to signal a timeout so it doesn't feel like abandonment, but as a mutual act of protection. Another helpful skill is checking the facts. When fears or suspicions arise, perhaps believing a partner is angry or about to leave, pause and gather evidence. What has your partner actually said or done? What facts can you point to? By challenging catastrophic thoughts, you gain flexibility and avoid unnecessary pain. Creating a relationship vision board can also be a hopeful, creative way to focus on the positives. Collect images, words, and quotes that reflect what you want your relationship to be. Place it somewhere visible. Let it serve as a reminder of your shared goals, particularly in difficult moments. Neither partner should underestimate the power of small, daily efforts. Say thank you. Notice when your partner tries a new coping skill. Send a message of encouragement. Acknowledge the courage it takes to be vulnerable, to repair after a fight, to reach out for help. For those loving someone with BPD, be curious, not judgmental. Ask what helps and what doesn't in times of distress. Let your partner guide you. What feels supportive one day may not the next. Flexibility and humility go a long way. For individuals with BPD, practice self-compassion. Loving and being loved may feel terrifying at times. Remind yourself that you are worthy, you can learn, and that your struggles don't define your ability to build lasting relationships. Ultimately, the journey of love with BPD is one of learning, adaptation, and growth. Each challenge faced together can deepen intimacy, build resilience, and create a foundation that endures the tests of time. While BPD brings unique dynamics to relationships, it also calls forth extraordinary strength, empathy, and capacity for transformation. By using practical tools, clear communication, validation, boundaries, skill building, shared rituals, and a mutual commitment to growth, lasting love isn't just possible, it can flourish. If you or your loved one is navigating the storm and sunlight of a relationship with BPD, know that you are not alone, and that support, hope, and healing are real possibilities. With intention, effort, and an open heart, lasting love and meaningful connection are within your reach.